Are we on?
Of course we're on.
Okay. Well, welcome back.
Welcome back. Yeah, and this is going to be a fun week. For one, we're featuring a famous local restaurant that has phenomenal sandwiches, probably best known for their bread. Is that a fair statement when you hear the name Amighetti's?
No, sandwich to me.
No, just because I think originally they got their bread maybe from the Missouri
I don't know.
baking.
No, don't even talk about it.
Oh, God.
It's on the hill.
Yeah.
Where you got your bread.
No,
It's
I know
not
that's
just
a big deal.
casual, I need
That's
bread
right. Yeah,
decision.
we can't.
It's a lifestyle choice.
We don't want to impute the wrong bread. Anyway,
a lifestyle
Amighetti's is
choice.
really the original sandwich in my mind from my childhood. That was the only sandwich that anybody ever talked about, really.
Yeah, and did they move location on the hill, or did they redo their place?
It's a
journey.
Yeah.
But
Once again, that we don't.
Yeah.
But it's a journey that is ending with 4 of their best sandwiches.
Right here.
That's right. I think.
Shortly.
Forget about how we got here.
Now, before we get all on the food, Terry was just about to share a story with me, and I said, Terry, don't share it yet.
Yeah.
Wait till the cameras are rolling. Share the story with everybody.
I think if it's what I think it is, let's give it a moment.
Oh God!
Are you talking about
that's when
the
you know it's going to be a really
conversation
good
Of greatness.
Yeah. Let's get a few bites in us before we.
That's
Yeah,
a few.
because I think this could last a while. But maybe not.
Maybe we should jump right to bringing some food out.
I'm starving, so let's do that.
Let's do that. Let's hand those sandwiches off to Andy so he can cut them.
I think
he shifted 3. Let's start with sandwiches.
Yeah.
That looks like a dessert to me. Now, we do have a special dessert from a different place today, but I'm not going to say anything about them until we get to it.
Let's get sliced.
And then I'm going to say a lot about them.
But leave a little.
Why is this?
Leave a little room.
But there's like Vaseline under.
Yeah. Well,
what's happening here? The mic is weeping.
I don't want to even. I don't want to know. I don't want
something
anything
bad is
to
happening
do with
here,
that.
Stephen.
And let's hope it's
The
Vaseline.
mic is weeping.
Here, how about I'm weeping from hunger?
I don't know what
we
that
need
is.
you to start cutting.
Wait, could
Whatever
you
it is, it's going to be on your sandwich.
Yeah, don't touch my
Will you hand
sandwich.
me a paper towel? I've just recently washed my hands too.
Dun, dun,
How
dun,
recently?
dun.
A couple of days?
No, moments.
What if it's not Vaseline? Oh, God.
I don't know. Stephen,
What'll
any
happen
idea
to
what
us?
could be oily and weeping from the mic? Oh,
There you go.
lubed up the hinges.
A little WD-40.
Perfect. All right, well, that'll help.
On the bright
Digestion.
side, before we throw our audio technician under the bus, Stephen, speaking to you under the bus, no, look at it on the bright side. I have not heard your microphone squeak even
not once. But I have this unsightly. Stephen, how do these
you can
things
pull that right
fit?
off. Nobody would even see it.
Well, then the wire hangs down.
So,
I don't know how these things stay on. Would you?
okay. Do you see?
Ladies and
This is-
gentlemen, you see a podcast
It's-
is way more than just three guys
It's-
talking.
Yeah, people think it's simple.
Ed Herman is going to love what's happening here. Wait till you see this.
I think
can't
we're
wait
going
to
to
show
just
him.
live with it for this episode because I don't know that looking at your behind
He's
is
really
what the
going
fans
to
wanna-
appreciate this.
What do we got there? I'm excited because I haven't
Take
seen
a
it.
guess.
Nobody tells me ahead of time
You'd
what
never
we're
know.
getting.
You could never guess.
As long as it's not eggs. What is
The
that?
pickle is packaged separately from the bread,
Thank you, Amighetti's.
you don't like the
which I
love
know
pickles,
is very problematic.
But you don't
I
like
don't
pickle
like it
juice
with
on
I
the
don't
bread.
want my bread soaked in pickle juice. And a lot of places just
they do.
slap that pickle right next
They
to the
do.
sandwich
They
and
do.
wrap it up.
Now,
Let's
there are
see.
people that don't like
let's see.
pickles. Then it's
They're
a real
screwed.
There it
thing.
is. Count it.
Those people are screwed. Oh, a big dill.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, you know what? Open up
wait.
that pickle. While you're cutting, I could nosh on a pickle.
I
Wait,
will.
is
I'll
this the
slice it
perfect
up.
time to tell the story about one of the people we work with who was named Pickle?
We did that last podcast.
Did we tell
We've
him?
been there.
We did the entire thing last
I don't
week.
I don't remember, but
We're
it
gonna
was
get to the best doctors.
Look at the old one. Look at the old one. I don't remember
It
what
was,
we talked
it was
about.
literally last week. We talked about our driver's license.
Was I here
Not the
then?
best doctors overall, just the best doctors that our health insurance will pay for.
Right, which, as I can tell you, our health insurance pays for nothing. All they do is collect premiums.
But we're so happy they have us, and whatever they do, we're so happy with.
I'm not happy at all with them.
Well, then take that out on Mr. Herman. Don't take it out on Mr.
They've already taken it out on me. They've already taken it out. They deny every single thing that I need.
Everything.
Is anybody out there, I mentioned this in a prior week, but I still would like an answer. If there's one human being out there who's actually happy with their health insurance, that has good health insurance, I'm willing to pay for good health insurance.
No, you're not.
I am. I just need to know where it is.
No, you're not,
No,
because
you're
if you were, we'd have it.
Yeah, why don't we have it?
Yeah, I think
What
that's
do you-
right.
what-
Hey, you know
Because
what?
nobody has shown me a policy that was any damn good.
Yeah, but but the policy, you don't know. You only know once you have the insurance
you know
and
what?
make
I'm
claims.
very happy with our insurance because I don't want them to start denying my
That's-
claims.
that's
Here, they're still
grab a-
going to deny your stuff.
No,
That's
they're
all they
fine.
do.
They're
That's all
fine
they do.
people, and
Terrible
thank
people.
God for them.
Could I get some plates, please? Can I please have some plates? And
Let me tell you
I've got-
something.
That is a flavor-filled pickle.
I can tell you a
That's
story
a big
about
deal.
somebody without identifying them who just had a procedure that was billed for $25,000, and they had to pay like $1,800, which without insurance you wouldn't have had the test. So I mean, however, you got to have insurance. And,
need to have health insurance.
And insurance is a tricky.
Got to turn on my coffee
You
cup.
got to have good health insurance.
I
That's
think
the
you know, but
problem.
we have good. It's just it's not as good
You know,
as
it is,
any
all
of
of
us
them are
would.
good if something horribly bad happens
No,
to you.
I don't know if that's true either. I think that's when they really start looking into it.
But nobody, I don't think there's anybody really who consistently says,
Jen, do you know which
my
sandwich is
insurance
which?
is just perfect?
None of
It's
them
just
do.
none of them.
No.
So there must be something inherent
No.
in the
There's no,
insurance
well, I
industry.
can look at it. I'm going to eyeball it. Andy, if you want to put a sliver of that here, I can start
Please
describing the
don't
contents.
touch yourself. Please don't.
No, they all they all seem to say the same thing. St. Louis signature sandwich.
Yeah. Okay. I don't
Do they
know what's
only have
happening.
one Amighetti's now up on Southwest?
I have no idea.
Because I've eaten there.
No, they have 3 locations.
And one of the young ladies who works up there, who I would give a shout out to, was a client of ours
guys want
and
some?
very sweet.
No.
Okay. What did we say this one was? This looks like an Italian combo of some sort.
This,
Special sandwich.
yeah, this is their special.
The turkey special, the ham special, the salami special, and the veggie.
That looks like a salami special.
Yeah.
Wielding ham? That's good. That's an honest sandwich.
You know,
That's like a classic. To me, that's just an Italian combo right there.
get that side view.
Very good.
Salami's so fat you could see it from the front.
That's good. I was hungry too because I didn't have any lunch today. I barely had a breakfast.
You know, I've been eating these overnight oats.
I love
Still.
overnight oats.
They're great.
Do you make them yourself?
Well, they come in a pack, and I guess if making them myself means opening the pack and adding them to almond milk the night before and shaking, then yes.
That's all it takes. That is making them yourself.
Well, the flavors come in prepackaged. They come in an obscene number of flavors.
What are the numbers on that? What are the health benefits that you're seeing?
Well, I'm not sure any other than
He's
I'm
not
eating
sick.
breakfast consistently and it's easy. It's not highly caloric. If you add almond milk, it's probably 300-ish calories for a very filling breakfast and 20 grams of protein, which is quite a
Put any
bit.
fruit in there?
Well, there are, like I said, an obscene number of flavors. So I don't add fruit, but there is strawberry this morning. I had mango. They
What's your
have
favorite fruit?
my favorite fruit.
Yep.
Man,
Just to snack on.
that's hard because I like oranges a lot. I like grapes quite a bit.
Grapes are easy too. Oranges are labor intensive.
A good
Grapes are
apple
like
is
candy,
good.
though. You eat grapes, you might as well eat
Yeah,
candy.
grapes are high sugar. For me, it begins and ends with blueberries. I love it. Have you seen these giant blueberries they have at Deerberg's and at Whole Foods? Each
Yeah, they're
blueberry
very good.
is like the size of an eyeball.
That's
And they're
hormones.
delicious.
That's hormones right there.
Well, I don't care what they're putting in there, make them that delicious. I'm all for hormones.
Although the queen of fruits, if you get it, and the problem is it's hard to process and get ready to eat, is a mango. Mangoes are just, I think,
I
just
don't
the
love
best
mangoes.
flavors.
But I did have
If you get a good one.
You know what's actually weird is I actually don't dislike mango, but I think I do.
Oh,
And so I always
Thank you.
shy away from everything mango. And then as soon as I have it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Like this morning, I'd been saving my mango overnight oats for quite a bit of time.
A mango's
because
nice. It's
I
sweet.
didn't
It's
want
creamy.
it. And I had it, and it's great.
Now,
I think that's
actually, I
less
think the first
distracting.
one was the ham special. I think this looks more like salami to me.
Really?
Yeah. You see?
Well-
See that piece there? That's definitely salami.
Let the people decide.
I like watermelon too.
I used
But
to. I
again-
can't eat it anymore.
Why?
No, that's not.
It gives me the cucumber burps.
Well, that's salami, but that's also roast beef. I don't know.
They're all good.
See,
I bet they're all
cucumbers I
gonna
can't eat. I could eat pickles. I can't eat
Well,
cucumbers.
cucumber
make
tastes
me burp.
just like watermelon without the foam.
Yes,
They're not sweet.
Wait,
exactly. So when I burp watermelon, it gives me the cucumber
If
burps.
you can eliminate the sweet, that's what a
they're in
bad
the same-
watermelon.
yeah, they're
I'm
in the
wondering
tastes
same-
like
why
a cucumber.
cucumbers make you burp.
Listen, you get older, different foods start to treat your body differently. I don't mind it with a pickle because when you burp a pickle, it has that good flavor. But when you burp just a cucumber, it has a horrible, I mean, like I may as well be burping a hot dog.
I feel like it's
horrible.
refreshing. Do you like coconut water?
I do like
I'm
Coke.
sorry, coconut water.
Wait, when you-
cucumber water.
I can't have that. I get the cucumber burps.
Are you telling? Does a cucumber burp? Are you talking about a smell or a taste?
Well, the two.
Both.
How do you divorce smell and taste? They're born of the same.
So you get a bad.
I get a bad
taste in your
tasting
mouth
burp
when you burp
when I burp
after
a
a
cucumber,
cucumber.
and I find that the exact same thing happens with watermelon. I did a little online research, and they are in the same family, and they have these very high water content. And if a watermelon isn't like, if I could have the reddest portion, like in the middle, the sweetest portion, I'll take my chances because that doesn't seem to be. Closer you work toward the rind, more like a cucumber.
Are you saying it makes you burp, or it doesn't make you burp anymore? It's just when you do burp, it's disgusting.
You know, I can't answer that question. I haven't paid that close attention to it because I don't notice my
Brody,
burps
grab
normally.
some cucumbers. We're gonna get
Yeah,
this.
I don't notice
figured
my
out.
burps normally, but I notice them when it's cucumber. Anybody out there, if you're suffering from cucumber burps, let us know about it at 612 all fours.
That's
because
right.
We want your
And by
feedback.
the way, has anybody given us any
I don't know
feedback
that the
on
number
any?
is aired at all yet. 'cause
No,
the
sure.
episodes that we
Uh-oh.
mentioned have
We've-
not come out.
No, we.
We have lightly put it out there on social media, and no, not a voicemail yet. But I think it's been very light. Once the episodes start coming out,
Yeah.
I wish somebody would call and just, if nothing else, take 1 minute of your day.
We
and
need
say
a
hi.
tiebreaker here.
But
Even though there's three of us, we need a tiebreaker.
what are we about? What?
On all of these things that we ask, it's always something we can't agree on.
Well, it's not.
I don't think
All
we
I know
have to
is-
agree.
It
think
stinks
that's-
that I live in a world where every time I order something, I have to say no cucumber. That stinks.
Well, let me tell
Oh,
you
you're
something.
that cucumber averse that you
yes.
like you have a zero tolerance.
I have to. And the thing is, I don't mind the taste on the way in.
Huh.
Which one is this? They all look the same.
This is the other one.
Okay, so if you go to the Amighetti's, ask for the other one. Everything looks like a different type of Italian combo.
Are you sure?
All right, listen.
You know what? Can I tell you what I think happened?
I think she
We
ordered
got
four of the signature sandwiches.
that's it.
Yeah, you got the same sandwich 4 times. These are the same sandwich.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
No, it's
I'm
not your
saying
fault.
that's what they gave you.
I'm just looking at 4. I'm biting into these. I'm looking at 4 things that are identical. Now, wait a second. Have you've opened the other ones already?
We've gone through. This is the third.
Now listen, I can't speak to all of their sandwiches, but I can tell you that this sandwich was good enough to eat 4 times.
Yeah. No,
And that's what
they're
we've
the same.
done.
This is my other special.
Now, on the plus side, well, you know what? This one seems to have a little pickle on it.
Now, one tastes a little picklier. And let me tell you something about what you're experiencing.
Now,
Are we back to the cucumber burps?
Being old
And you get older.
is a constant being painted into a smaller and smaller corner. Things you used to do, off the table. A lot of stuff that you used to do when you were fine, one day you wake up, you're not fine.
Give us a few examples of any foods that you could eat however much you wanted when you were younger, and
Well,
then
I
you got
used
to a
to
certain
be,
point and you can't
if
do
I
it.
ate too much the night before, I would just sleep. I'd go right to sleep, put me to sleep. Now it keeps me awake. Of course, anything that goes on in the bathroom is just a struggle.
Sure.
Just things that you used to be able to do easily.
How do we always end up back in the
have
bathroom
noticed-
with you?
I don't know, but I will say this, Andy. You're slightly older than me. I know that people out there won't believe that,
Yeah.
but it's true. I've noticed that my pee has really slowed down. And this happened yesterday. I don't know if this is appropriate or not,
It's not.
but my
Look, go
son,
ahead.
who's 22,
Yeah.
he went went into the bathroom to pee,
Yeah.
and it was like thunder.
Yeah.
It was that horse like
Right.
Yeah.
ferocity
young-
where a young man's pee,
young
the
young
kind that
man
when you flush the toilet
can-
it foams up like a beer head.
A young man can knock a urinal off the wall, with their stream.
Just
I
kidding.
mean, it was I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That
Right.
the echo
No, that's
from
true.
the water splashing. It was as if a boat
Wow.
had sped by, and then I go in, and I'm at that point now where I have to lean over the thing because it's just gravity
You have
taking
to have
it down.
somebody sing "Old Man River" to you as you go.
Wow.
It is. Have you
you know-
noticed any of that, or because I had my prostate checked and
I
it's
think
fine?
I think that's everyone. No one.
Jesus.
I don't think.
Fits and starts, they call it.
Well, I don't know
It's
if I'd go
crazy.
that far,
It
but
should be just the opposite. We get older, we're running out of time. The pee should be faster.
yeah. Hey, I'm gonna end this conversation real quick and just pull somebody into this, if you don't mind.
Into the peeing?
No,
Into what?
the conversation.
About peeing?
Who are we talking to?
You'll see.
It's usually Steph.
No.
No?
No, today we're calling it an expert.
Your urologist?
Closer.
Just want to find out because I'm just telling you, it was.
No, it's not easy.
I couldn't believe what was happening in there.
Well,
The envy.
We've all been there.
No, I remember it. I can picture flushing as a kid and watching that phone.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
You know,
okay.
that great
He'll
foam.
get back.
I haven't had that foam. 25 years probably. I didn't. You don't
You could
notice
just
it when
you could just blow it off the top of your glass.
I'm telling
Just
you.
tried you, period. Please call me when you have a chance, period. We are live.
Oh God. Well, this is how you know that we never plan those things ahead of time.
Live.
Like
This is
when you
all
watch those
spontaneous.
But we are
game
also
shows,
alive.
okay,
like,
you
Who
want
Wants to Be a Millionaire? Like obviously the Lifeline.
you want to get
knows
into the
they're about to
greatness
get a call.
conversation?
Yes. Let's see. Let's dip into this last or other
You
same
know, what if
sandwich.
this one could be completely different? Is it a hot sandwich? Is it a meatball?
We don't know.
Looks
No,
like
we know
the same
exactly. It's the
sandwich.
same.
They look very
sandwich.
similar.
They're all delicious.
Yeah, well, they should be. Once one of them was
right. If you
delicious,
cut
they
a
were all
sandwich in
delicious.
half,
Well,
both
but
halves
you know,
are
maybe what
delicious.
we're doing here. This is one of the biggest problems with restaurants. The hardest thing. I think everybody has had this romantic notion of opening a restaurant or whatever it is. And
Lawyers especially.
yes, but when you realize the hard part about restaurants is the consistency. How hard is it? How many restaurants do you go to where you have a great meal? You go back because it was so great. You order the same thing and it's trash.
But honey,
So right here, what we're doing by getting the same sandwiches over and over, we're testing the
And
consistency,
they've been very consistent.
which may be a new model.
but let me tell you, in every
Wait, you
success,
skipped your last sandwich. Somebody.
yeah, he
But
did
it was-
because he had
in,
the same
in
thing
every
twice before.
successful business,
grab that one.
consistency is vital. Car making.
And hard.
You know where it is more than as much as any place?
Right here?
The law.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to be
Consistently
consistent.
giving a high quality of service to clients is a
It
task.
is. You know
it's
why? 'Cause
hard.
has this ever happened to you? You take somebody to a restaurant, you're endorsing it. You're like, this is my pick. You're going to love it. We're going to get the so-and-so. It's my favorite thing. if it doesn't deliver, you kind of went to bat for them. Now your credibility is on the line. I think the same is true anytime a referral is made. And since about half of the cases we sign up are referral, it, I think, demonstrates that we are achieving things consistently, but it also shows how important it is to keep it that way.
Consistency requires constant attention to detail.
The expression, if you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. And I think, that is the problem with restaurateurs or any business owner. You have a vision of what you want the product you're putting out to be. And as much as you try to convey that to others, they're not in your head, and they don't always care. But assuming you get someone who cares, it's not always that easy to replicate. Now, we talked about this with like Sugar Fire. Outstanding. The concern is, can you replicate that if you are in 100 locations? And I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I hope.
The very good ones, the people that really are at the top of their game, are able to control and maintain consistency in any business. Remember, I'll tell you this. It's just a story real quick. We go to a restaurant in Miami Beach. I take my kids there. It's called Pumpernicks. It's an old line deli in Miami Beach that I had great memories of as a child. We're sitting there, and they're looking at me. They're across the table, and I'm just raving about this restaurant, all the wonderful times. As I look on the wall behind them, there's the biggest cockroach I'd ever seen.
Oh, that can happen.
Crawling down. And I don't want them to see it because I don't want to ruin the experience for them. And so I never mention it. About 2 years later, we're at a conversation, and I tell the story to the kids, and they say to me, "Oh my God, they saw another cockroach behind me, and they didn't want to ruin it for me."
You see that?
But maintaining consistency.
Well, they were consistent. They had cockroaches on every wall.
But
Look, there's a fifth sandwich on your shirt.
Nobody.
And it's the same as the other four.
Nobody knows that really more than we do. Consistent service is a difficult thing to do, to keep service at a high level. It's really hard.
Yeah, it's hard to see a business actually evolve their policies and move away from the vision that whoever started it had. I'm gonna tell my story about the denim jacket in Las Vegas. You have not heard this?
No, I like this story.
Yeah. So I'm in Las Vegas. I'm at the Venetian and just shopping. They have a lot of good stores.
Just trying to enjoy himself.
I go into a Banana Republic of all things. I normally don't buy from Banana Republic because they always cater to very thin people. I spent most of my life heavy, so they had nothing for me. But on this occasion, on the mannequin, they had this beautiful indigo blue denim jacket. And I really like the look of it. So I say to the guy, where are these in the store? Where could I find these? So he looks around, he goes, "You know what? I don't think we have any of them left." So I said, "Well, let me see what size the mannequin has on." And the mannequin had on a medium. And I said, "Well, let me try it on." I try it on. I fall in love with the jacket. This is a beautiful jacket. I say, "Well, this is my lucky day. I'll take it." The guy says, "We can't sell it to you. I could order you one, but we can't sell the floor model. It has a sticker on it, has a price on it. It's obviously made for sale." I said, "Well, you don't even have any of them here to sell to anybody. You just put a different jacket on here that you actually can sell to people. Sell me the jacket." He said, "No, company policy. If it's the last one, we can order it, but you can't have it." I said, "Listen, the whole point of brick and mortar is to buy something and get it on the spot. If I wanted to order something and have it get to my house, that's how all other shopping is done these days. It's just done online. This is for a different type of experience." So I was nice about it. I was like, whatever, that's fine.
You didn't call him a moron, none of that.
No, I didn't. I stayed very nice. I never raised my voice. Right. I just thought it was a silly policy.
They had no belligerent people will be kicked out.
You were not escorted out.
Because here's my thinking in that moment.
Yeah.
That many, many years earlier, whoever the first designer was that started Banana Republic, like most fashion designers,
Mr. Banana,
they sat down and they had a dream that they could design something and that maybe someday somebody would be willing to pay their hard-earned money to wear the very thing that they designed.
They were right.
And now that moment has come, the moment that the founder dreamed of. And in that moment, his company is failing. And so that's what I was faced with. So what did I do?
So what did you do?
Okay. I left. Went a few stores down. I ran into one of our partners, Andrea McNary, and I said, Andrea, I have a job for you. You've got to go down to Banana Republic.
She doesn't like to take no for an answer either.
No, I said, and when nobody's looking, you got to slip that denim jacket off of the mannequin, take it then over to the women's side to a different register that's not on the men's side, buy it and get the hell out of there. She was all over it.
Wow.
So she went.
He wanted that jacket.
She very surreptitiously, she went, she slid the jacket off the mannequin, takes it over to the register, buys it. Literally, right after being handed the receipt, the guy comes over and says, no, she can't buy that jacket. It's not. And Andrea just picked up the receipt and said, I own the jacket. It's not yours anymore. You don't get to decide. And she left and she got me my jacket. So it was as happy as I've ever been with Andrea. I mean, it was like Mission Impossible. She pulled it off beautifully. And me, I'm not going to lie to you. I put that jacket on and I strutted back and forth like a rooster as many times as I could past that store. So I felt that they needed it. Listen, I could have been vindictive.
And they sent him a lovely note.
Listen,
Thank you. We needed that.
I could have been vindictive and not let them have my shopping dollars at all. But I look so good in that jacket.
Yeah, you do.
It did look really. It fit me like it was made for me.
I've never seen the jacket.
It's quite a story.
Why do you
probably seen it.
Why do you even take it
While you
off?
Quite a
guys are
bit for a while.
talking, while you're introducing these delicious donuts that
Well,
were given
we're not.
to,
We're
it's
not.
actually
We've
not
got
donuts.
And
We've got. Hold on.
For those of you who are watching, we'd like to get a little feedback on who do you think's crazier, Ed or Andrea? I don't
in
know.
that scenario,
Hold on.
man, that's.
You know what? I think we're not going to... I don't think we have a way to FaceTime audio. As handsome of a man as you are, and we'd love to see you on camera, maybe we'll just have to put up a picture.
No sweat.
Nice, yeah.
So I have here
you can wear all the time.
Dr. Zach Ray. Zach, could you tell them what kind of doctor you are?
I'm a neurosurgeon at Washington University.
Didn't I?
So I
think
thought,
I went to him.
Yeah, yes.
For my
You know
back.
Zach.
As a matter of
Dr.
fact,
Ray for these
I
purposes.
need to talk to you, doctor. I
So-
need the name of that physical
So,
therapist.
Zach, a few weeks ago, we were having and thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. A few weeks ago, we were having an argument here about if my father fought Mike Tyson, what would happen? I thought he would die with 100% certainty.
Yes, I agree with that,
and
by the way.
I have not tainted your views on this, but I figured you are an expert who is qualified to answer. My father, who is soon to be 79 years old, in I would say reasonably good health and shape for a man of that age. What's going to happen
reasonably.
when Mike Tyson, who we've all seen training lately, what do you think the outcome is?
So this is an uncertain science, and it would be very speculative in nature. I think Mike Tyson, pound for pound, is the best fighter that we've seen in the contemporary age. Mike Tyson hits harder, particularly with his uppercut, than anybody arguably ever in boxing. I think for a 75-year-old man that is probably aging at a normal rate with typical ex vaccio or normal room inside their brain that contributes to subdural hematomas in a general population would be exceedingly high risk. If I had to place some odds, I would say 75 to 85% chance of suffering a subdural hematoma with a direct blow to the head, with perhaps a 50% chance of dying.
Wow. So
all
I
of
was
that to
wrong.
get a 50-50.
Get Tyson's people on
Wow.
the phone.
He's got better odds than I thought.
I'm canceling.
That's right. All right.
Wait.
Now-
What kind of... I mean, there's so many things. I would go down if he hit me in the arm. So, I mean, the chances of him getting a clear shot, I'm guessing if
I think the chances of him getting a clear shot are
I
pretty
I believe
good.
his 50-50 odds were premised on the idea that you took a punch to the face.
Yeah, which Tyson's going for your face.
I would think he'd break my jaw. There's no question about that.
You're stuck at 50-50. Let's say,
padded.
and this may be against the, what is it, the Hippocratic Oath? What is the
That's it.
This may be against this, but let's say we can get the laws suspended. You're forced to bet on whether he lives or dies. Where are you putting your money?
How many punches does he have?
Yeah, that's true. I'm
Just
not
one
going to
good
sit.
one.
I'm not going to like sit
Until
up.
he's on the ground.
No, but I'm not one of those guys who'll never fall. Once he hits me, I'm down. I'm out. I'm done.
He
I mean, I'm not going to make it in. I'm not going to get angry at Mike because he did it and want to stand
Do you
it.
think you'll run around the ring for a while first before he hits you,
Like a
or are you just
chicken
going to
with
take
his head
your
cut
one
off?
punch and be done?
No,
with it?
I would cover up.
Mike Tyson at 58 or Mike Tyson at 21?
Oh, no, forget Mike Tyson at
Mike
21.
Tyson at 21. we're
Mike
all
Tyson
dead.
at 21, I assume the odds of death are 100%.
I think Mike Tyson at 21, the odds are greater than 90%. It would be a mortal fight.
Wow, Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
All right.
One-sided Mortal
Well,
Kombat. I would recommend
think
a
that's
weapon.
very helpful. I appreciate your expertise, Doctor. And I'm sure you have many lives to save, and we
ask
do
him-
not want to
ask him
take
if he
any
can
more of
give-
your time.
Can you text Andy the name of that physical therapist
yeah.
that
Will
you
you
had?
text me the name of that physical therapist
That you wanted me to
that
see? I never saw
that
him.
you
This is
had
all
my
the
father
time.
with.
This is what it's like all the time.
Don McCutcheon Brooke just saw him earlier this afternoon.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach.
Yeah.
Take care. Talk to you
we-
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And if we could flip gears
Ken?
just to close this loop.
I gotta read
Wow,
that's me in the
50-50.
that's me in the jacket.
Andy,
Take
hand that
a
to
look.
Jen.
I don't know what our main camera is for showing stuff.
Oh.
But I mean, look at that. That's worth stealing.
You know,
But-
I
but-
wanted to
Still,
mention
we
this.
paid for
But
it.
There
why
have been
didn't
a
you
number
just
of
have them mail you? You were in you, and now you got to pack another jacket. It would have been waiting for you when you got
You
home.
wanted to wear it that night. You're in Las Vegas. You want to look good. Hey, we've mentioned a couple.
I don't like to be told no. I want to sit there and persuade through language and dollar
Yeah.
to get whatever I want whenever I want it.
We'll
now, everybody wants that. It's just, are you willing to do what's necessary to make it happen? And in my situation, the answer is yes.
Hey,
Where do you
hold on
become
give me
an-
1 second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Stephen, do you have somewhere to write something down? Because I feel like we often have these situations where, oh, I'm going to send you that picture. And then we inevitably forget
What?
because
I
we
never
get
forget. I
caught
just
up
sent it to him.
in the moment here. If we do that, will someone write it down so we make sure we follow up with each other and get you any photos you need?
Juju,
Because there
Juju,
were,
you're in charge. Of
yeah.
Now
Oh.
let me ask you a question though. What Ed has just described,
Yeah.
I want what I want,
Yeah.
regardless of what your rules are, that you didn't make, most likely. At what point do you become an asshole? In other words, when does a reasonable request for something that they don't want to do, or this is a salesman, and I'm not criticizing.
no, listen, I'm a salesman.
This is a salesman who is instructed to follow certain rules that he has nothing to do with, and we don't know the penalty for not following the rules, but I can assume it could jeopardize his
Death.
employment.
No.
I don't
Yeah,
think
or it's
selling
not
a
going to
customer
endear
a jacket
them.
that's clearly
but it's
on
not going to
sale.
be something to get him extra credit. This is something they tell him not to. All I'm
disagree.
saying,
I
at
disagree with
some
that
I
premise.
think
point,
the guy made it up.
I
don't
think
even
that's
think
a
it's
totally
true.
different premise.
why would he make it up? If he wants to make a sale and it makes no difference, why would-
because that's the thing is he doesn't have an ownership mentality. I promise you, if the head of Banana Republic was there, they would have absolutely have sold
Yeah.
me the jacket, and that's
Maybe,
where I draw the
maybe,
line, Terry.
maybe.
Because
So when would you
rules-
not? When would you not
Because here's
do
the
it?
thing: I don't believe in rules. I believe in guidelines. I believe that rules are there for people who lack the independent, good judgment to assess the situation, have situational awareness, and actually get creative about getting the best possible outcome.
I understand that's how you feel.
Yeah, no, that's how it is.
But you
Our world has to,
but
we play to the lowest common
you
denominator.
live in a world,
and the rest of us suffer.
But you live in a world where you know that's not how it is. That's not what the world
I
is.
used to live in that world,
Oh,
and I
okay.
feel bad for you that you still live there.
No,
I don't live in that world anymore.
So let me ask you this. So is there anything that you could ask of these people that
Can't
they
say these people.
that they wouldn't do it?
No, because see, here's the thing.
These people,
I
meaning
wouldn't ask
the
for
people
anything
that work at
unreasonable.
Banana Republic.
But listen, I wouldn't ask them for anything unreasonable.
Well,
Asking them to sell me something
wait.
that has a tag on it,
But
that is clearly has a price on it,
but you
clearly
understand-
for sale,
you
that is
under-
reasonable.
you
You know what
understand
happened? The
what's
guy just set
reasonable.
up the mannequin. He thought it looked good. He didn't want to do more work by having to redress the mannequin. That's preposterous. You know what? Next week we're going to have to get someone from Banana Republic Corporate accurate to answer this question because I think the guy made it up.
I promise you that's somewhere
nonsense.
in there.
Well, what if he didn't make it up?
They never sold the last of any item. That's insane.
What if they? Wait.
How about this? They're always out of stuff. So
Yeah, how did they become out of stuff if they didn't sell the last one?
Well, this may be a popular.
Ed bought it all.
Wait, this could be a popular item that they want to keep selling. They will be able to sell them if they have it on display, and they can get people will ship it to you.
you know what I
overnight.
know?
You know what? I'm not going to let their poor inventory management dictate my life.
got it.
That
I'll
is
tell you
not
what
a good
happened.
inventory management system. If you let yourself get down to one on something as popular as you claim it is,
That's right.
that is poor
No.
inventory management.
I'll tell you
Maybe.
exactly what happened.
What happened?
Let me ask you one question. The guy who said no wears the same size jacket you do.
I think he did.
That's exactly what
Yeah,
happened.
he had his eye on it.
He wanted it.
He was going
That's
to use his employee. He was waiting for
that's-
payday.
That is 100%
You know what he
what
can
happened.
do? He can go ahead and order one online.
That's right.
You know something?
what he can
I
do.
promise you that's it.
I would guess.
Where are the donuts?
If you ask people, a lot of people who do the job the guy did, a lot of people would do what he did because if
Right, and
if
that
they
is
were
right
Because they
there
wanted
at
the
the
job.
core. What's wrong with society?
well, it's
people move away
there
from
have to
living in a
there
society.
are always going to be rules that we won't agree
I'm
with.
going to have to move us along here
Well.
because I don't want to. I'm
Well,
getting too
talk
upset.
about
I
these
think,
fritters.
frankly, that's
Well, let's talk about Pharaohs. Pharaohs since 1994, although I thought they had been around for a lot
that's
longer.
30 years now.
Yeah, I guess that's true. That's terrifying. Such nice people. We have been there. We have actually made donuts.
We have,
in
side by side.
Pharaohs. Such nice people. Such great donuts. And if I am correct, I thought I heard the words apple fritter come out of somebody's mouth.
you know,
And man, do I love.
apple fritters
I'm
are
sorry,
trending.
Apple fritters.
They're trending. Everybody's interested in the fritters. No idea why. I mean, I love a fritter, but I don't know why it's
you
hot
don't know
now.
why?
Is that a fried dough?
it is.
Is that
It's a
fried dough
fried dough.
stuff with a puree of apple?
I don't know if it's pureed or just diced up.
or
pieces.
cut up.
Yeah.
with-
Well, they're
yeah.
diced
I
up
think it's
apples.
dough with
like
piece-
filling, like apple filling.
I don't think it's filling. I think there are pieces of apple in the dough. They toss the dough in. I don't know how they get the shape. Because the shape is part of what's great about the apple
Well,
fritter.
let's
You
eat
get
them.
those.
Let's eat them.
Let's pick one up and hold it up.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
a weird.
I mean, that's a
shape.
beautiful thing.
That's a weird.
You know what I like? Applesauce.
I do too.
Really?
And you ever notice some applesauce is good and some is great.
Yeah.
You know, I like applesauce, but every once in
Wait
a
a
while
minute.
You like it a little chunky with a little cinnamon?
Yeah, I do.
So
Yeah.
you
I like
say
it chunky
some,
with cinnamon.
but there's no such thing as a bad chicken wing?
Wait, I didn't say that. No, I said there's no such thing I think as a bad chicken nugget. There are many bad chicken wings.
Oh, I thought you had previously.
No.
What about French fries?
I think there's some.
They're a high percentage
Not
food.
great.
They're not all
French
perfect.
fries. No, they're not perfect, but they're all
But
good.
they're all pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's
find
like
I find
pizza.
that
Like,
with,
even a bad
yeah,
pizza's
I find
edible.
pizza to be the same way.
It's not
Edible,
the best.
but not great.
No, listen, it's not all great. But I mean, how wrong could you go with a little meat, a little sauce,
I mean,
and a little
and I
or
have to
dough,
admit
bread and cheese?
that my taste and smell, because of indiscretions when I was younger, are not as good as yours, sir.
What? I mean,
I
don't wanna
abuse
pry.
my nose and my taste, I guess.
Is that right? All
sure.
right. Well,
This is not. I
Yeah.
want people to know a cocaine thing.
no, I was going to say this is not. This would have been
say
news
not-
to me.
I'm not
Wait,
sure
wait
what
a
it
second.
is.
Why can't the people think, "Ooh, he's a little dangerous"?
We're just,
I guess because
I
you're
guess
the
we-
face of the firm, and they'd like to know they're not hiring
Well,
a
they might
cokehead.
think, a guy that's got a lot up his nose. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
How about maybe you just got in a fight or two when you were
I'm
younger?
going to try.
Why'd you
I'm going
have
to try
be-
this delicious
I'll
apple
take
fritter
Yeah.
from Pharaoh's Donut. Look at that, just
So
doughy and
take
icing.
a bite. And they're a little like crispy.
They're very good.
I have a
Oh, you really can't-
144
can't go
degree
wrong
cup of
with that.
coffee.
You can't go wrong with the apple fritter. You know what I've been drinking a lot of lately?
It's very hard for me
Hot
to know.
cocoa.
Oh,
When was the
'cause
last
they-
time you had a really good cup of hot
But
cocoa?
here,
that's
right?
a good way to get up your sugar
Because-
intake.
No.
Oh, you make it at home?
You know what? I drink it right before bedtime.
That's horrible.
No, it soothes me, and I fall right asleep. I use a company called Beam, Beam, and they sell.
Jim?
No, they sell.
You're loaded
hot
with
cocoa.
quite a few things
They
right
are.
before you go to bed. Huh?
They do it. And it has properties that they've added to help you settle into a good night's sleep. A little melatonin.
Isn't there some deal with cocoa being very short supplied?
I don't know.
I've heard that there's cocoa. It's a very dangerous.
Forget I mentioned anything. I want to
situation.
buy up what I can
There
before
isn't
you do
that,
it.
that there's some deal with
that
the-
we may not, our children may not see.
It's either
chocolate as
cocoa or
adults?
vanilla. I'm not sure.
Is that
You
possible?
sure it's not helium?
But somebody look that up.
You know why? I know who I'm going to blame. It's all you pricks out there who want to just have dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is disgusting. It's bitter. It's horrible, and it uses the most concentrated cocoa beans. They're using everything.
Dark
If they
chocolate
were
is
making
delicious.
it
Would
into milk
somebody
chocolate,
out
There are
there
they
health
would use a
benefits.
lot less.
Would somebody
I know
look
there are
that
health
up?
benefits, but please, it tastes terrible. And,
Only if you get over a certain percentage.
well, and that's the thing is, yeah, it's being
Thank you.
caused because of the sales of dark
Wait,
chocolate.
is that it? Could we ring a bell? Terry's right again.
Well, nobody disagreed with you. You have to win an argument. Somebody has to be on the other side.
But I
of it.
followed up.
Why don't they just grow more? It's not like a fossil
There's a
fuel.
reason, and it is.
Is it a drought? And I
Get a
think
sprinkler.
the uptick in people eating dark chocolate.
Okay, grow it hydroponically. I don't believe that we can supposedly put a man on the moon, but we're going to run out of chocolate.
Honey,
Okay,
the
got it.
man in the moon argument would lead you inevitably to nothing. We can do everything. And clearly, we can't do everything. So putting a man on the moon really didn't mean much.
Well, yeah, I mean, it didn't stand up
Didn't
as the
cure-
measure of the hardest thing in the world to do because
yeah.
we still have cancer and a bunch of other things.
It didn't change much.
What do you think that'll do to
Let me
Hershey
ask you this.
Park?
What problem could we solve that would replace that expression if we could put a man on the moon? If we could cure cancer, is that the expression?
No.
What's the hardest thing to do?
Here's the problem is there's no expression that you can come up with that accurately describes what we'll be able to do. Because there'll always be things we just can't do no matter what.
But like right now, today, if we were going to update the expression, what do you perceive as our single biggest challenge that we
Cancer.
can't seem to get over?
Cancer.
So if
That
we
would-
could cure it, we could go
If we
forward
could cure
saying,
all
yeah, we
forms
could cure
of cancer, yeah.
then we can get this.
I think
ship
it would
right.
obviously be way more significant. It would impact more people than going to the moon and curing cancer. But I don't know that it's because it's terrestrial, it's done on Earth, it's not something anyone sees. I don't know that it would have the same impact.
But remember, we barely went to the moon. I mean, we didn't go to the moon. The first moon landing was about to be, scrubbed
Yeah.
like 30 feet over the moon. They couldn't find a place to land, and at the
There's
last
no
minute.
parking.
No,
Even
I
there,
was
no
gonna say
parking.
the same
Oh,
thing.
and
It's
guess
like Los
what? You're going to be
Angeles.
the happiest guy in the world.
What?
For many years, my son has been a moon landing denier.
No.
You have.
He
You
just
have.
likes to play with the
No,
notion.
no,
He's
no.
smart enough to know we landed on the moon
No,
six
no.
times.
No. I am in the high 90s a believer in the moon landing.
No,
High
high
90s.
90s is not good enough. You either are thinking clearly and it's 100%, or you're a lunatic.
Anyway, there's a
High 90s.
There
But
is-
that doesn't make me a denier.
wait. There's a movie coming out.
Yes.
And with some big stars. I've seen the ads about the whole thing about the faked moon landing,
Yeah.
where it was faked. So I thought for you,
Listen,
you'd be thrilled.
this is where it begins and ends for me. Because this is what I say to everybody who is a moon landing denier. Say, if we were going to take the trouble to stage the original moon landing, Apollo 11 in 1969, okay, why did we go back then? We had planned to go 7 times, right? All of the Apollo missions were going to be moon missions. All of them successfully got on the moon, except for Apollo 13. We all saw the movie Tom Hanks, Houston, we have a problem. Why would we have to go back 6 times? Why would we fake it 6 more times if we were faking it? If we got away with faking it the first time, we would have never gone back and done a thing. There's simply no reason unless it's legitimate. 100%.
I think that our government has done enough things that we
Now.
ultimately find out to be true that are shocking. Camp Lejeune being one of them. things like that are denied and then acknowledged. Why would they do that? Camp Lejeune's not, I mean, I understand why they would deny that, but I just think that
It's good.
I think we most likely went to the moon.
We've had 11 different human beings, 11 different Americans have walked on the moon.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you
And
ask them,
where
they'll tell you.
are they
Neil
now?
Armstrong. Well, Buzz Aldrin is out there having to live out his days with a bunch of morons
Yeah.
who are questioning his greatest life accomplishment. And let me tell you, he's lost patience for it. Have you seen the videos? Somebody come up to him and he's saying that it was fake. He damn near went over and punched the guy out. And I wish he had.
Greatest life accomplishment. He was just a passenger. He didn't build the rocket ship.
But he walked on the moon.
But you know
Oh
what?
my God! He walked?
Only 11
You know how
people
many I got,
in the history of the world have done that.
but do
And
you-
he was the
But
second.
that wasn't his accomplishment.
Of course it's his.
But
account.
No, he was just picked to go.
But do you think that's the government's fault?
What?
Or is that our fault?
Which?
Being disappointed that the government at times withholds things from the public, and isn't entirely honest all the time about every detail. I just think
I understand why they can't
I
be.
think it's right. I think it's a foolish aspiration that they're going to tell us every fact, no matter what. Like, for instance, with Dr. Fauci and the mask wearing.
Yeah.
When he first said, wear masks, he said it not because it would, the way my understanding, the way he explains it is, we didn't have enough masks. We didn't have a way to protect the first responders and people in hospitals. And so we had to tell the public, don't run out and buy all the masks up. We don't have enough for the people who really need them. But he told them that they didn't want to tell them that.
I hear where you're going with that, but my problem with the government keeping things from us is not situations like that. I think there are things that the government has done, like Pruitt-Igoe here.
Yes.
That is the type of thing. That wasn't necessary. That was just experimenting on humans for the sake of it's.
But remember this.
And I get why they didn't tell you, but they didn't have to do it in the first place.
You're right. But I think part of the confusing factors are when you say what they did and you judge it by what we believe now. In other words, when I went up to the University of Missouri, there were bathrooms that were designated colored and white.
Right.
And that's terrible. In the context of 2024, that's ridiculous. That's insane. Why would it be done? In the context of 1961, 62, that's just, that's how people thought. And so a lot of the things that seem crazy now, if you go back, like, for instance, the Tuskegee Airmen, that was in the 40s?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was horrible. But when I went into the Army, I'm trying to think. No, I'm trying to think where they're not black officers. No, when I was in, there were. But when my brothers went in the 40s, that was just how it was. And people said, just didn't think about it because that's just how things were.
Yeah.
In other words, you have to view
it through the lens of history, sure.
Well, let me ask you this.
things were
now,
like.
here's something that at the time had the same moral dilemma that would have today. And I want to hear what you guys would have done.
Okay.
So after World War II, there were these Nazi scientists who were, many of them considered the most brilliant scientific minds in the world.
Right.
It's true.
They,
Can I get another little?
Harry Truman was our president and had to make a decision.
Apple fritter. You know what I'm saying,
he's
Jen?
on it. He's already on it
Double
over there.
apple fritter. I'll tell you why I'm saying that. It's for the algorithm.
Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted.
Okay. So Harry Truman had to make a decision. Do we let these Nazi scientists get refuge here in this country and we absolve them from their war crimes in order to gain the benefit of their brilliant scientific minds?
Yes.
And with the idea being that if we don't do it,
Someone will.
Russia's going to.
Exactly.
And then the technology will be going to Russia. So the scientists wind up coming here, and I don't remember his name, but one of them is actually the one credited with...
Werner von Braun.
Yeah, he's the one credited with our ability to go to space.
Yes.
Now, I look at that and I think, how can we morally justify just allowing war criminals to have
we would do the
protection?
same thing today. I mean, that has, to me, that is not one of the examples.
Well, why not take them and just put them in jail? Not let them go to Russia?
Because we were in
That's
a
leverage. We needed their
we
knowledge.
were in a race with the Russians.
A fake race.
No,
A manufactured race. It
I
wasn't-
don't know. The Russians, remember when World War II,
Then why did the race end when we landed on the moon?
it didn't.
Because we won.
But
It didn't. No, we won. I mean,
At some point, where's the race? They ran out of money.
First of all, I don't know the value of landing on the moon. I think what they found was a lot of space exploration was better done by robots than putting up there. To put a human being there requires a whole new engineering set of problems that you don't really have to deal with. You know, we are in a constant technology
robots.
race with our enemies. For instance, this new thing, these hypersonic missiles, this is the newest thing. And there'll be, after this, there'll be more. When you live in a world where people will kill each other to get an advantage,
Are there no
this is-
limits then to how evil somebody can be as long as they have some valuable intel? that we
I
can
don't
use?
I don't know if there's no limits.
If it wasn't
but
killing
if
8
you
million, 12 million,
if you were president,
I'm falling asleep
if
here.
you were president,
I'm
you,
about ready
you
to
would
move
have
us
done
on.
the same thing.
I would have put them in jail.
Yeah,
I
you
would
guys,
have told
I'm
them
going
they
to
were
give you
coming
each
here.
one last
Okay,
word.
let's
I would
talk.
have told them they
let's
were
talk
coming
about
here. I would have
let's
put them
talk
in
about
jail.
greatness. Can we do
let's
that?
talk. Yeah, I want to get to one thing or two first,
You don't
but
wanna do that.
I do want to get to greatness.
I don't think you do want to get to it
No,
because
I
he's
do.
been trying to get to it since before the
Well, I
episode
just wanted
started.
to get back to the double apple fritter.
Oh, I didn't know. that.
So Jen had sent me earlier this week the TikTok algorithm likes certain things. So I was wondering why we had double glazed apple fritters today, and that was for some reason TikTok loves double glazed apple fritters. Zara gold dress. TikTok loves. Did I tell you what happened with the Zara dress?
I don't know what the Zara dress is.
Zara is a brand, an inexpensive, like Gap-like brand that is from maybe Spain. Steph ordered a sweater the other day, and it was final sale. And I have often said she frequently will have an online ordering mishap, and I'll say, "Why always you? It's not my fault. It's blah, blah, blah." She's finally admitted that it is her. She ordered a sweater from Zara, final sale. And Steve and I will send you a picture, make note. She ordered 8 of them, final sale, unintentionally. And so
Same color?
There are 8 of the same sweater, same size.
So it's like the sandwiches today.
Yes, same thing. There's something going on.
It's a nice
so that
bookend.
was our Zara gold dress story. And then for some reason, TikTok loves turkey Twizzlers, which I don't even know that that's a thing. Turkey Twizzlers.
What is
Maybe
that?
I guess it's licorice flavored like turkey.
No.
Maybe it's a Thanksgiving novelty.
No.
What do you mean?
No, that sounds disgusting.
But what do you mean they love it?
I guess the algorithm hears these words, and the AI on TikTok is no joke.
But
Good.
what,
Well, my
but what
phone's
is
listening to everything.
Anyway.
I'll be able to know
So
if it starts
we
serving
were-
me up fritters.
But what does it mean? What is the tell the audience
TikTok
loves something? What does that mean?
Well, when the algorithm picks up certain content, it means it will promote that content
Above other content.
Yes.
Okay.
Tell the audience. You mean you?
I
So
think
I'm
there's
here too.
probably a lot of people
we were out
that
to
don't
dinner
know
the
that.
other night,
Okay, here we go.
and we got into a debate. And I don't want to give all of the details because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But the issue of
I've never heard him say that before.
Art.
One of these days he'll care about my feelings.
the issue of art and what makes
he
good art. This is what you wanted to talk about.
well, you wanted to. You
Yeah,
told
I
me.
do. I do. Art came up, and what makes good art?
No, what is great mean? Define great.
Well, but
What makes something great?
The debate was if you are an artist, or whether that's a painter or a sculptor or a musician.
Yes.
If you sell a lot of your paintings and make a handsome living, or you're a musician and you sell millions of copies, does that automatically make you great? I take the position that no, it makes you successful, but it does not necessarily mean that your music is great. My father takes the position that that's your turn. I want you to state your
my position is that great is something that has to be defined. And if somebody tells me my definition of a great artist is one that the most people like and really appreciate, I think that is a perfectly valid definition of great.
Yeah, some people define great as popular.
Now wait.
That's what you're doing there.
So what I asked Andy was...
Hold on one sec. Ed's mic position okay? I feel like he's drifting. Okay, we're good.
So my question then to him, that's a definition that I think makes sense.
To you, yeah.
No, to everybody. I think
a reasonable definition.
If you would say that to most people, I think they would say, I may not agree with it, but certainly that's a definition that you can defend.
Yeah, I think you're shifting.
No, I'm not
shifting. My definition,
now wait,
but obviously, if that were your definition, you're saying
you're on
popularity.
Sound logical ground.
If you want to equate greatness and popularity, you definitely are.
No.
That's exactly what you did. I'm agreeing with you.
That would be
based on popularity.
Now, second of all, I said, so you tell me something you think is great, and then explain to me, when you ask me, I say because they sold the most records. And that's my definition. You tell me your definition.
But that's not.
I will play.
Because me thinking an artist or a musician is great does not make them great.
Right.
You thinking they're great does not make them great.
What makes an artist great?
But there are artists that are great,
but not objectively.
And it doesn't matter if I or you or I think they are.
I don't think any of it's objective.
No, but you can argue.
Again, is Picasso not objectively a great artist? People like that.
I don't think so.
I would say this. My definition would be the more of an impact that it has on you, the greater the piece of art. So for me, it's all about what it draws out of you emotionally.
But forget about the individual piece.
Then there is no art, because it's all individual in my mind.
Well,
it is a very individual experience.
So are you saying
it's like trying to define love? You're feeling it the way that you feel it. That's how you feel about art.
So
That's
are there
how
no great musicians?
Technically great. I mean, you can look at people that are great at their instrument from a technical standpoint, but whether it's delving into your soul and squeezing at your heart is very personal.
Sure, but what about their impact on future musicians?
You're talking then about influence. There are certainly many influential artists.
No, but
influential doesn't equate to great. It equates to influential. Popular does not equate to great. It equates to popular. That's why we have different words.
But it does. It's my belief that
that's your belief. So
my belief is anything that everybody has an opinion on. In other words, we go and we buy a cheeseburger, or we go and buy a record, and we both listen to it. I don't think you're assigning that as great music is any more valid than me assigning greatness to it. In other words, I think the definition of great has so many different plausible definitions that it almost makes the question meaningless, because great really depends on what you personally, how you define it, and there's a ton of difference. In other words, you think somebody's great because it's great for you, and that's just as valid as me.
No.
Well, let's say somebody influenced a lot of people. Why does that make them great?
But what you're doing,
because a lot of people follow somebody because they like them.
Because you're
that's almost popularity.
You're trying to narrow it down to one characteristic that makes them great.
No. All I'm saying is there is no one.
There is no one.
Right. There's no one agreed upon definition, and one doesn't. Everybody has their own taste. Your taste, I don't see why anybody should be able to say, I like a song and it's great. And I say I can't stand that. It does nothing for me.
What about something like
why is it more valid for you than me?
how about this? I'll give you one.
Critical opinions more valuable than regular.
What do you mean?
How about
critical
Shakespeare?
opinion?
From critics.
Wait.
People that are
critics-
studied.
Does that mean?
But I agree with you that people's taste preferences are completely their own, and they're entitled to have their own taste preference. That is not an opinion. An opinion is when you're trying to speak on behalf of other people. And that's the problem with people saying everybody deserves an opinion, everybody's entitled to an opinion. They're not. You're entitled to a taste preference. But when people state an opinion, they're stating it as if they're speaking on behalf of not just themselves,
then you're
but
saying
others.
nobody can have
Nobody
an
gets to
opinion.
have an opinion, but I do believe people who have become educated in an area, they get to have an educated opinion.
This is where he
wait a second.
differs.
Wait a second.
He thinks they're all frauds.
No, I think there's a huge amount of the Emperor's New Clothes syndrome in art critics and stuff like that. Because I mean, look, the first guy who saw a Picasso and said, "Oh my God, that picture of that woman has 4 eyes and 6 breasts, and some of the breasts are on her back. That's the greatest piece of artwork."
I don't know if it's a great piece of art, but I'd like to meet this woman.
No, but it is. I mean, that's what they say. I mean, and that's their opinion. That's okay. But boy, if you're saying you can't argue that point.
You can, but let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
If you had only ever had one slice of pizza from one pizza place, like we said earlier, all pizza is good.
Yes.
And if that was the only slice you'd ever had,
yes,
you would say that what I just ate was great. Now, if you ate 10 different slices,
you may have
you'd
more.
be able to rank them, and you would recognize that some of them were better than others. That's what a critic is. A critic, because they've studied it, they've eaten all the pizza.
Let me tell you.
So when they have an opinion, it is more valuable than that who just had their first bite of pizza.
So in other words, in fact, let's do it. Raise your hand in this room if you think Shakespeare is horrible. Oh, come on, Brody. I know you do. Jen, you're not with me? You like Shakespeare?
I think he's the greatest writer in history.
Exactly. But, and I think that we have accepted that as true because it probably is true. But God, is it boring? And I can't stand it.
I agree with you.
And so the point is,
if you'd have had Professor C at University of Buffalo, you would have loved Shakespeare.
No, I wouldn't have gone to the class.
He made it come to life.
I would have skipped the class every time. But the point is there are authors, there are musicians, there are painters who are objectively great.
That's where there's nothing objective about greatness.
I think
greatness is all a matter of personal taste.
But when
they tell you that. They tell you, art critics and artists, they're always giving you their personal statement. When you read the personal statement, it makes no sense, but you can't put the words together.
You're conflating a lot of things here.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying taste is a personal thing.
But this isn't about taste.
It is. Our likeness. I like a book. I read a book. I like it.
But I don't like Shakespeare, but I can accept that Shakespeare is great.
No, you accept it because you have to, because our culture says he's great, and you can't say you don't like him.
No,
because he could say he doesn't like him.
Well,
that
doesn't make him not
great.
To you,
but he can't ignore the fact that
to you he's
400
not great.
years later, it's still required reading. I mean, that's a measure of something.
It's a measure of something. And if you want to define that as great, that's a perfectly valid.
But there are people who study language and study the use of language.
They study what other people have written and told them.
I'm sure you know people who are wine people, right?
Yeah.
And if you just take one wine person and they take a glass and they stick their big stupid nose in it, blueberry and a little bit of castle nut and some acorn I smell in there and some dark chocolate.
Yeah.
You think they're just full of it.
Yeah, they are.
But if you were to give that same glass to 10 people who are educated about wine and have that palate and you separate them, they would all say very similar things about that glass of wine. In other words, I think that there are
characteristics, but not quality.
Characteristics. Yeah. And I think that there are characteristics of language and music where people who are educated, things that are happening behind the scenes that you and I don't even see or smell or taste or hear, that are legitimate, that make something great or not
Well, what
great.
happens if I don't like
composition.
it? What happens if I like it? It's
That
not great
means
to
that
me.
something is great that you don't like.
No,
like
it means
Shakespeare.
it's something I don't like.
But that doesn't
you call
make
it great.
But there's a lot of great things. So I don't like country music.
But defined by,
I don't believe that there is no good.
But you're defining.
great
But
country
you
music.
know what you're doing? You're doing just what I started out with. You're all of these things are basically saying they're great because everybody likes them and they've liked them for 400 years, and they continue
like
liking
is not the
them.
right word.
They're
There are
popular, whatever it is.
Not popular. I think that there are.
Well, like brush strokes,
But it's
and
not.
painting.
It's not popular.
It's not popular.
course
It's
it
not.
is.
No, because then if that were true, Terry, then
Yeah.
every year you wouldn't have to have a Best Picture winner at the Oscars. You would just see whatever movie made the most money
Right.
and give them the
Success.
Oscar. So clearly we have a different way of doing it.
But that would be a perfectly logical thing to say.
If you were giving a
that's
prize
great.
for the biggest
Yes.
box office.
Yeah.
All right, let me ask you a
call it
question.
great. Yes.
What do you think gets more viewers on television? The College World Series or the Little League World Series?
The Little League World Series,
Double.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yes.
one. Yeah, that's a big
You
deal.
agree?
Big deal.
Oh, I don't know. I
Okay.
assume if you
Now,
say
what do you think gets more viewers? The Little League World Series or the Spelling Bee?
Oh, I know. The spelling bee gets more than
It's so
anybody. It gets the
crazy.
whole country of India.
It's so funny. Yeah, the College World Series 1.6 million, the Little League World Series 3 million, and the Spelling Bee gets 9 million.
But what is
Have
that?
you ever watched the spelling bee? It's fabulous.
It is good. It's
I
way
can't
better than the
believe
College
what
World
these
Series.
kids can do. I mean, I'm still, reminding myself
Don't
with
they
the
get
eye
a?
before
Don't they
E.
get a list?
Well, they listen.
But don't they get some
Sure,
master?
it's called a dictionary.
No, don't
Yeah.
they? But don't they get? I think they get a master list.
There are common spelling
that
bee
they-
words
that
that
they
they can
give
study,
them
but
a-
still, these are kids, and these words.
Oh no, but it's a great memory. I mean, there's no.
Twizzlers.
I love all the questions that they ask.
Zara,
Form of the speech,
gold dress,
country of origin.
double glazed.
Can I get it in a
apple
sentence?
fritter?
It's all to give them a little more time to.
And then they say
gold
such and such
dress.
is a difficult word to spell. That's your sentence.
They're stalling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And they're trying to, I can see it in their eyes that they're trying to picture it, make those micro decisions. Are there any silent letters? Any of those P's or H's
But how
floating
would
around in there?
you know? They have to get it.
Well, that's why they say
give
root
you
of the
a
word,
yeah.
because that usually will indicate those little extra things.
We've talked on here about how lawyers can make both sides of the argument, and it's a vital skill as a lawyer.
Sure.
Make the argument for why that a-hole Joe Edwards sold the Tivoli to a church.
Oh, don't say that. But Joe made first of all.
He did. I shouldn't say
he
he did. He's
rescued-
only an a-hole because he sold the
No,
Tivoli
you
to a
don't
church.
like that, and I understand why you don't.
But I
you
love what
have
he's
to give him
done.
credit. He took the loop and
He's
made it
created
into
a wonderful,
Let me say this.
wonderful
I have
neighborhood.
I've enjoyed being
But
on
I
the
gotta
loop
tell you
more
that-
now than ever before.
Yeah, but that trolley, okay, I'll give it to him. He had a dream. It didn't work
Not
out.
every
but I'll
dream
give it
comes
to
to
him.
be.
It hurt a lot of businesses in the loop. I don't like that, but I'll give that to him. I think that was a reasonable gamble for him to take.
It would have been nice.
He had big dreams. I give him that. But the Tivoli, an institution in this town, to sell it to a church, there are plenty of locations for a church.
When did he sell it in relation to the pandemic?
I don't know, but I don't really care.
Well, because
It
the
just
pandemic
seems
killed
like
theater.
it's so out of place in that neighborhood to take up such a famous building with such a history and to take it away from the public like that and turn it into a church is just
And that's nothing wrong with church. But I would
Inexcusable.
feel if they turned Blueberry Hill into a McDonald's, it would be disappointing.
I think that yes,
Because
not
you'd
as
be
bad.
taking an institution and making it something that you can get on any corner.
It's more taking Blueberry Hill and turning it into a lumber yard. You know what I mean? It's like lumberyards are great.
Although you know what,
Churches are fine. We need them.
I don't
They're
think,
all over.
I don't
They're just
thi-
not right there.
I don't think.
So give me the
Tivoli-
argument.
I don't think they did any business.
That's fine.
I mean,
but
nobody. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
but they
nobody.
could've-
so you think the only
nobody
thing?
Maybe they
used
could have
it.
put it in the hands of somebody who wanted
I mean,
to really get
he
behind
has
it as
been
a
a
theater.
pretty good steward of that area. You know what I mean?
What's your favorite place on the loop?
Oh man, there's so much great stuff in the loop. Where did I just? Why can't I think of where I was
Iron
just
Age
in the loop?
tattoo. They didn't do all my tattoos, but they did do this one.
Wait, where would
Que
just...
sera, sera, Three Little Birds. That's Iron Age.
What did I just eat in the Loop?
This Yogi Bear, that was also at Iron Age.
What
right
is
there
your
on the
most
Loop.
recent tattoo?
The most recent one is actually this one line over there, and nobody's talking about it. That's just my.
that's your.
That's my latest. But really, the big thing was I did the upper left leg as a cereal sleeve.
Oh, please keep your pants on.
I'm going to keep my pants on
Thank you.
for the purposes of this
As a
podcast.
cereal, what?
A cereal sleeve? Yeah, I
What does
took
that
all
mean?
of the famous cereal mascots and merged them into one tattoo all around the leg, and in between them are floating marshmallows from Lucky Charms, honeycombs, Fruity Pebbles.
You know,
and
to
Fruit
bury
It's a vibe, man.
Brody, to bury him in a Jewish cemetery, we're going to have to take a
We're gonna have some work to do.
We got.
Oh, Quarter
they'll be
17.
able to-
How could I forget that? That's where we ate in the Loop the other night, which is where the
Where?
debate occurred.
debate
Quarter
occurred.
17 is a Chinese restaurant
place.
in the Loop that's really quite good.
Really?
Oh, hand pulled
I've
noodles
never
and
been
all.
there.
we could order
It's great.
something.
There are a lot of wonderful places in the
I
Although
Loop.
went to
Blueberry
WashU for
Hill
law
is-
school, and so the Loop was kind of our campus.
Yeah.
But back then, I mean, I couldn't even tell you the number of nights I spent hanging out at Fitz's. That was a really popular place.
Was
It's
it?
still popular.
It's an odd place for
Blueberry
a college
Hill
student.
is really
Blueberry
the
Hill, of course,
signature
that's
place.
the signature place.
He
for
was
sure.
actually
what do
in
you
an
think it would
Archie
take to get
comic.
your name on the Walk of
You
Fame?
know what?
there?
My
I mean,
wife made the same
I don't know
comment,
why it
and-
wouldn't be.
because no, I don't. I am not in a class with those people.
You know what? You are
Uncle
with some
Leonard's
of them.
there.
No, he's not.
No.
No, let me tell you something. There are some that are clearly very, very famous, and you haven't achieved that level.
Everyone
You
who
know who
I've
Uncle
seen.
Leonard is?
There's a Leonard Cervantes?
No.
No.
Oh, I have no idea then who
when,
Uncle Leonard is.
When we first started advertising, back then when there were only 3 television channels, and I talk to people about this all the time, no one who starts advertising today can ever achieve the level of notoriety and public awareness that you did, because when you started, there were 3 television channels. Uncle Leonard was a guy who sold televisions in St.
Appliances
Louis, and he advertised. And he was as famous,
He was famous,
as you were.
Becky
back
Queen
then.
of
But
Park.
here's my
Yeah.
pitch. Here's why I think Terry should have a star on the St. Louis Walk
It's
of
very
Fame.
flattering,
Number
but I
one,
don't deserve
He was
it.
born and raised here and has lived his entire life here.
There's number one.
2, he's been a famous face on television
Yeah.
for over 40 years. Everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Number 3, he's given back to the community consistently for 40 years. He's present. He's active. He's
Yeah.
always on the side of progress and doing things right. An innovator. He's helped tens of thousands of St. Louis citizens, actual direct help, not sort of the overall help like the entertainers. I know we value entertainment in this country, and it's a great thing, and I love it. But helping people one-on-one individually by the tens of thousands, to me, is more impactful than maybe an entertainer who just entertained a large number of people. You put all that together, I mean, it's not like they're running out of room. I think this guy gets a star.
Are there any local people in, like,
They're all
does Tammy
local.
Holland? No, I know they're from here, like Red Fox, but Red Fox I wouldn't consider local. He was born here, but he had obviously a national
He did,
presence.
but
I think they
does
all
someone
have-
like Tammy Holland have a star in the
She
Loop?
does not.
She doesn't. She should have one.
But I wonder if it's because you need to have a national
I think
impact,
a lot of these people
not a local impact.
are nationally.
They may be.
significant.
And are you sure Tammy
let me tell
doesn't?
you, I'm not sure that she doesn't. I don't
I'll
believe
ask
she
her.
does. But let me say this: why should the St. Louis Walk of Fame have to recognize people who are nationally or internationally known?
You have a star
why isn't
in
it
the
enough
Loop, question
that
mark?
they were significant, really significant? What if for no other reason? What about the Slam Stand Super Bowl ad? I mean, if you're going to point to seriously, if you're going to point to one thing
Worldwide attention.
that got, yeah, it did. It got worldwide attention. It put you on the national stage for a while. That wasn't what your goal was, but it's what happened. But it still was speaking very boldly,
Yeah.
with putting your money where your mouth was, on behalf of St. Louis. Now, how does that not get a star on the Walk of Fame?
I don't know if that gets you a star, but let's see.
I tell you, you're laughing, but go through that list of people on there and ask the common St. Louis citizen if they even know half the names on there. And I promise you, they don't even know half the names on there. Ask the same people if they know the name Terry
I think
Krupp.
there's a difference Well, you know.
You're being false humble. I know you'd love it, and you know you deserve it.
Oh, please don't.
And you know you deserve it.
But the people there are people, because my wife has said this, and we're walking there, and I'm looking at these people, and I said, I just don't, belong in their category. These were great people. Listen,
I'm
I
not
try to
saying
be
you should
the
be right next
nicest
to Chuck
people
Berry
I can
or Tina
be.
Turner, but there are some names toward the edges that I think they could slip you in. I could, next to a sewer cover.
Oh no.
They have spaces.
Tammy does not have a star, but I feel like maybe I've implied that I'm trying to get her one. I got to let her know that.
No. Why? What's the harm in having?
So now we got to get Tammy.
How do you even go about getting it? I've never seen them do a ceremony. When's the last star they even put on there? I saw nothing on the news.
Well, you know what?
Now that I've insulted Joe Edwards,
Joe.
I think we're okay. Joe, fine.
I want you to know.
Two out of the three of us came to your defense tremendously.
I want you to know that he may be adopted. So don't. It wasn't me who said that.
He does have one adopted child. We don't know which one.
And I've always said these people are nice, but I share no blood
I was
with them.
drunk most of the time back then.
You came from somebody with a nice full head of hair.
Yeah,
That's where you came from. That's not him.
Joe, don't hold it against me.
No, I may be my Uncle Herb's son.
And watch the whole thing, Joe. I jumped
in immediately, and that was long before I started talking about the Walk of Fame.
Honestly, my only criticism of you is selling the Tivoli to a. I just don't think it's the best and highest use for the neighborhood.
But everybody makes mistakes. Isn't that the old Sesame Street?
Yeah, and his trolley
Everyone
was
makes
his mistake.
mistakes, so why can't you?
Yeah,
I feel like you made that up on the spot.
No. Has anybody heard that song?
Yes.
You've heard it,
of course.
Haven't you?
Whoa. A Walk of Fame star ceremony. Oh, that's Hollywood.
Oh, but speaking of Hollywood.
Cost you $75,000?
I don't know when this will air, but just for frame of reference, Donald Sutherland passed away today. So when this comes on the air, you'll know that's when we filmed this. 88 years old.
He'd been around he's a great guy.
And a shout out to the legendary Willie Mays.
And didn't his son, didn't they were estranged for a long time?
Were they? Kiefer?
I thought they were.
They made some movies together. His granddaughter is also an actress. She was the daughter in Veep. She played Julia Louis-Dreyfus's daughter. Yeah, who's a grown woman, but that's Kiefer Sutherland's daughter. That's Donald's
too bad. 88. It's a long line.
And is Julia Louis-Dreyfus, is she a billionaire?
Yeah, well, her family's worth $3-4 billion. Yeah, they were from that financial Dreyfus family.
Wow.
Yeah, but she's done quite well on her own. And, she's won Emmys.
Yes, she has.
For 3 different characters, 3 different shows. I mean, she's got a ton of Emmys.
She's won what?
She's got Emmys for Seinfeld, for for the New Adventures of Old Christine, and for Veep. Yeah, she won them all.
Yeah, and that ran for 5. Although I don't see
7 years for Veep.
I don't see it. Is it?
It's done,
but I don't see it in reruns or
it's an HBO show, and it's filthy, so they can't put it on regular television.
That's too bad.
If you didn't watch Veep, the first season wasn't great, but by the second season, when it got its footing, that show was brilliantly funny. Anyway, I think we've exhausted today.
I just got one last question.
Okay, one last thought.
I was going back and listening to some of the episodes that have already been made available to the public.
Yeah, I haven't listened to anything.
And I'd like to circle back and hear about the unscheduled bathroom break that the woman at the DMV took.
Oh, you came back to that. Well, here's what bothered me about it. Okay. The line, as you recall, was 20 or 30 people deep. And this was for driver's license renewal, not for license plates. That line had 0 people on it. They only had 2 stations for the driver's license. And I do have another addendum. So she gets up just abruptly, just line all there. Instead of, everyone thought she was going to call over the next person. She got up, vanished. Okay. Nobody went over to take her spot. They had 5 people just sitting over there by license plates. One of them could have gone over and picked up the line for the driver's license renewals. Nobody did.
So you don't blame her.
Minute goes by.
Oh,
No, I do blame her.
We don't know why she
should
left.
have gotten coverage. She was taking a crap. She was gone for a solid 10.
Well,
solid 10.
How do you even know she was doing that?
Well, what else you doing for a solid 10?
Well, she could have had a cigarette. She could have been calling home.
Either way, whatever she was doing was hijinks.
That made a
As a person,
what she should have done is she should have said, guys, I can't, I've got to go. Can you take over here? We got a long line. They were not working as a team, but I do have to send out a quick addendum because, as you know, I railed on the Repair License Bureau,
Yes.
and I still continue to, and I will until they fix things or I die. But the Clayton License Bureau,
it's great. Always
was
has been.
fabulous. They had a better system. They had a gatekeeper. The second you walked in, a gatekeeper said, "What are you here for? Show me your documents."
Yeah.
And right out of the gate, she looks, and if you don't have it, she says, "This isn't going to work. Go get it." And at least you didn't waste your time waiting around. They just send you on your business. But if she looks at it and says, "Okay, this is good. Go sign in over there," then it speeds up everything else, because then the people on the inside, there's no friction, there's no hostility. They don't even need to look at your documents. It's already been
So
done
are
by
you
the
saying
gatekeeper.
Brody now has a real ID?
He has the real ID.
Oh,
It's in his pocket.
congratulations.
I have a new license, and I have to thank the much better system at the Clayton License Bureau. So, folks, Clayton,
No, don't say that, because
I'm
it's
here
never
for
that
I'm
crowded,
here for the
and
better,
I don't want you to make
I am
it.
here to serve the betterment of
Cat's out
society.
of the bag.
No.
Stay out of Repair, go into Clayton, and that is a wrap.
Well, I just want to real quickly defend. I don't think it was her fault. I think it was the system's fault that did not create a replacement instantly when they saw that there was a need that had to be filled. As someone who sometimes has a little bit of short notice when I need to go to the restroom, sometimes you just need to get out of there. And I think that someone should have seen that and picked it up. I don't want to be critical of her.
You know what? It's just
needs.
dysfunctional. If that's the case, it's dysfunctional.
It is.
You know, and it was a horrible experience,
You know, it's-
and it didn't have to be.
But
Because Clayton proved there
Andy
was a
has
better way.
SBD, sudden bowel disorder.
No.
And
just,
you know, by the time he knows he has to go, he may have already started.
that's not
Are you
true.
trying to send a message?
No, because
Because we could wrap this right now, this instant.
And why do you
No.
think he's sitting on
You know-
plastic?
Yeah, you know, it's going to be an insane moment. Is I think this real ID thing is actually happening this time. You know, they've pushed it back,
pushed the
pushed it
date.
back.
It's like 7 years
but
already.
But I think that it's
People
really
are
going to
going to
happen.
start getting turned back.
And I don't think most people realize it, because most people don't fly that frequently, which is really the only place I've ever seen notice of needing it.
Yeah.
It is going to be a disaster. You are going to have people going to the airport and being turned away.
Good. I'm tired of
Is it?
Yes, because you know what? I am tired of people making the excuse that they're just going through this world clueless. They've been dealing with this for 7 years. If your head is in the sand, I don't care what happens
Where
to
have
your
you
head.
seen it? Like, if you haven't been to the airport in the last
But you've
7
been to
years,
motor vehicles.
He's-
You've been to motor vehicles, and there's signs everywhere.
He's
and they've
become
been
a
talking
cruel
about it.
little man.
You know
Yes.
what? I'm just saying, enough's enough. Because you realize, as a person who tries to do things right, who tries to hit their marks,
Yeah.
takes life seriously, you realize how many things have been dumbed down for lazy people that don't want to do stuff, and it takes away the full enjoyment.
I don't even think it's always
hardworking
lazy.
people can
I think
have.
it's, some people think that rules don't apply to them.
You know, he's known as the Stalin of West County. He's a cruel little man. That's
Listen,
what he's become.
I'm just
sorry.
saying that we have given up a lot.
Guidelines
to
are
kinda make
guidelines.
things-
Come on, St. Louis, let's bring him back. Come on, we love you. Come on, loosen up.
I don't know what's
We're
happening here.
all in
Watch me.
this. We're all
Just
in this
saying,
together. Come
people
on.
have collectively-
We know
All
your
for city.
lives are tough. Everything's tough.
Everything is
Yeah,
gravitating
you know, you
down
need to.
the
Everybody
toilet like
needs to
this.
just be a little kinder.
Okay. And with that flush, I think we are done.
There you go. With that flush.
Bye.